On the 10th edition of the Sub-Saharan Africa International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference, SAIPEC will be held from February 10th to 12th, 2026 at the Eco Convention Center in Lagos, marking a decade of industry collaboration and dialogue. Organizers say the conference will unite national and international oil companies, regulators, and technology providers to drive conversations around local content, sustainability, digital innovation, and energy transition. This year's edition is expected to feature over 100 industry leaders, thousands of participants, dozens of national oil companies, and a large international exhibition alongside high-level strategic sessions. Joining me now to discuss this further is Engineer Wale Ogunsanya, who is PETAN Chairman and MD CEO Geoplex Drill Tech Limited, alongside Dr. Oke Okebu, who is PETAN Publicity Secretary and MD and CEO Ketobi Nigeria Enterprises Limited. Good morning to you, gentlemen. You're most welcome to the Global Business Report.
Good morning.
Most welcome. Well, let's begin with you, Engineer Ogunsanya. SAIPEC was created by the industry, for the industry, pretty much living up to the expectations. What core outcomes is PETAN targeting for the 2026 edition?
Thank you very much again. SAIPEC was the initiative of the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria. We formulated this 10 years ago to bring the industry leader, not just in Nigeria, but in the sub-Saharan Africa. And what's the vision behind that? The vision is that the more we come together, the more we are able to even bring our brothers within the subcontinent into what we do in Nigeria. Don't forget, PETAN is 30 years old. We have much more experience than many of our other African countries. So the more we bring them together, the more we can expand the landscape of energy in Africa. And we're all aware the consumption of electricity by an average African is a quarter of his European equivalent. And, the term is, in Africa, we're energy poor. We don't have enough energy. We all know the implication when you have energy, the implication of it is what is the engine of productivity, individually, in your organization, in a company. So essentially, we brought all our African brothers together and ensure that we're able to expand what we're doing in Nigeria across the continent. This year, this 10th year anniversary, you are going to see a lot of features. The panel sessions are target specific African issues. What is the reason why we're not producing enough energy in Africa, especially in Nigeria? You are aware that today we produce about 1.7 million barrels of oil. Our quota in OPEC is 1.5 million. Dangote refinery is 650,000 barrels. BUA is building 350,000 barrels refinery. And even NNPC has capacity when they get the refineries to work. So if you tally all that, we need 3 million barrels of oil. This thing doesn't come easy. There is a lot of know-how, a lot of technology, a lot of planning, a lot of funding that is required. So in this event, we're bringing APO into it. The African Petroleum Producing Organization is an intergovernmental organization within Africa that is formed. The headquarters is in Abuja. The African Energy Bank was launched in Abuja last week. So the funding process, we're looking at it. The requirements locally in Nigeria to make sure that we are prepared to increase this production and increase activities. So those are the things we'll be talking about, this week at SAIPEC. At the end of the program, we're going to issue a communique, the different panel sessions that will be there. And we're doing something very special. PETAN led this. This is our initiative. We're bringing all the African countries from the private sector point of view to form what we call African Local Content Association. Essentially, every country in Africa that has, oil and gas and energy production, we're bringing ourselves together to ensure the value chain remains in Africa. We want the GDP of Africa to grow. We want to increase energy in Africa. And we also want to make sure that the energy poverty that we have in Africa is elevated. We want to reduce that and make sure that we have enough energy. All of this is happening this week at SAIPEC.
All right, so it sounds like quite a packed program, very sensitization-centric as well. But let me just stay with you a little bit on that, Engineer Gusaya. From a communications and a stakeholder engagement perspective, what key messages would you want for investors and industry to take away from SAIPEC 2026?
Thank you very much. Very straightforward. Nigeria is ready. That's what we want. So the takeaway for investors in this SAIPEC 2026, Africa is ready. And when we say we're ready, what does that mean? The enabling environment, if you look at what the federal government have done, there's some presidential directives that give incentives for investors and to all the oil-producing companies in Nigeria, not just incoming investors, but those that are already here to ensure that they can increase production. We want to make that statement. PETAN is ready, the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria, in terms of the services. You know, what we do, we own the equipment, we own rigs, we own all kinds of equipment that will help get that oil out of the ground. Just in the last 1 year, our association has invested $100 million buying new equipment into Nigeria to ensure that the equipment that is ready, that you need to increase this production of oil and gas is in Nigeria. So the message is very clear. If you're an investor, and this is what we did a study in PETAN. For the next 5 to 10 years, the oil and gas industry in Nigeria will continue to grow. And certainly, I will say this clearly. In the past, what has happened to us is when we're exporting only the crude oil, when the oil price goes down, the activity goes down, our production crashes. When the oil price comes back, we are not prepared to take advantage of it. The oil price came back in 2022. This is going to 4 years. While Saudi Arabia and other oil-producing countries are increasing production, we are stranded because we didn't do the work that we needed to do during the crash. So today, we don't have that excuse. There is no reason why Nigeria will, in the next 10 years, we ever reduce production of oil and gas because of the refineries that we have in country.
Right, so quite a lot has happened. And of course, you know, we're looking at the 10th edition of SAIPEC. Let's bring Dr. Okegbu in. Let's talk about in what ways this conference has strengthened the indigenous capacity and local content development over the years, if we look at metrics.
Yes, the history of SAIPEC started some time ago, about 10 years ago. And then we had about 2 NOCs and about 140 participants. But now, 2025, we have more than 22, 23 NOCs and IOCs and more than 1,400 participants. So what has happened there, the growth is, of course, reference to the quality and the benefits of people who have been attending these events have gained over time. It's a platform where the industry is discussed, the bid rounds are discussed, regulators are there, the government decision makers are there, the IOCs are there, NOCs are there. Then the startup businesses are there too. Then about DEI, we also try to make sure that we bring in the next gen to bring them in to also learn from these experts and professionals so that we can have a feeder into the system. So it's a complete setup built to keep developing and keep developing. We are looking at a view where SAIPEC in the next couple of months, we are targeting IPEC. That's what my chairman is actually, he is actually the sole person fighting for this and making sure this thing works out. So we're looking at where we are having Africa in focus, where, Africa is complete as it may be. We have everything it takes for us to sustain ourselves. So we're looking at the oil and gas industry in Africa, where we produce and refine what we have, and consume also what we have, and then have enough to export and make income for our various countries. So SAIPEC brings these countries together. PETAN, being as it may be a leader, has started this and is attracting other countries to come and see what we are doing and to see how they can improve on it. So we're taking a lead in this African view of the petroleum development. So we believe that this 10th anniversary will be another milestone for us to discuss all that we have to discuss in the industry and then move the industry forward. Thank you.
Right. What about investment and partnership opportunities? What specifically should operators and service companies look out for at this year's conference?
One of the things we're promoting this year and part of the discussion panel is that there is a lot of opportunities to collaborate in the industry from the oil-producing companies and from those of us that provide the services. I'll give you examples. Today, we have oil and gas producing companies that have, marginal fields. Essentially, these are not large fields, and they have challenges, bringing those fields to production. Capacity, in-house capacity to do that, funding, and we in PETAN, we partner with these companies in a win-win situation. We bring all of the resources we have, we drill the well, we deliver the production to them. So that's one of the things that will come up here for marginal field owners. PETAN is prepared to partner with you in very clear terms to ensure that the funding that you don't, we own the equipment, we own the rigs that will drill the well. We can work with you within certain financial agreements to ensure that we can bring that forward. So these are parts of the things we'll be highlighting. As far as the big oil and gas companies, whether it's the IPPG, the independent Nigerian producers like Renaissance, and also like Seplat, and of course the multinational, we are assuring you that within the space of the industry in Nigeria, PETAN will continue to build our capacity. I think I mentioned that earlier. What happens today, lots of Nigerians do not really understand the role we play in the industry. There are areas that there is no multinational capacity to do that work. So we are the owners of the technology, the equipment that will go into those places. So we're going to be highlighting this big time. PETAN today is 117 companies. We have if you look at the revenue of PETAN members, when you combine it, it runs into billions of dollars. These are revenue that goes outside Nigeria 20 years ago. So we continue to, and of course, the more we are prepared, especially for our independent producers, Nigerian companies, the more capacity that we have as PETAN, the more the value chain to the country. From the fact that you guys are the owner of the oil, the producers, from the fact that we provide the services, when you tally all of that, it's adding to Nigerian GDP. And for us, we feel this is the only way this country will move forward, when we ensure that we retain as many value as possible within the country. Certainly.
Feedback-wise, what have you received? It's been the 10th year now so far, especially when it comes to operators. We have very little time left. Dr. Okebo, if you could please take that. In terms of feedback from the public, operators and service companies that you've dealt with over the years.
Yeah, I would say our event is oversubscribed, actually. We used to have occupy a particular space last year, but now we have asked for more space for exhibitors. So it's oversubscribed. And we keep making sure that we don't disappoint each of these subscribers, the IOCs, the NOCs, the government people that come, the startups that come to get information from the event. There are a lot of panels that will be holding, and these panelists are professionals that are seasoned in their own areas. So we're delivering quality information, knowledge, and in the exhibition ground too, you will see technologies being exhibited, modern technologies, digitalized technologies that are not popular, and there'll be also lectures, free lectures for startups to guide and direct them on about these technologies. So it's a full packed event, and we believe that people that are going to come this time around will enjoy the benefits of what they're going to get. And then there'll be African tint to it because it's the 10th anniversary. So there'll be some local African entertainment that will also bring on board to make sure that we put a special touch to this. There'll be a golf tournament that we'll hold on Friday for golf players, and then we hope that will be also another part for people to engage and discuss.
Right.
And
sounds like quite a lot to look forward to,
yes,
and undoubtedly it's going to be another great success for you. If you joined us midway, I've been chatting with Engineer Wale Ogunsoya, with PETAN Chairman and MD CEO, Geoplex Drill Tech Limited, as well as Dr. Oke Okebo, with PETAN Publicity Secretary and MD CEO, Katobi Nigeria Enterprises. Many thanks for joining us on the show today.